We are going to be working on an old scar here that was caused by a golf cart accident, actually. And you can see the indentation. And this is where the wheels just kind of kept destroying the gastroc tissue and creating scar tissue. So we're going to start out with our machine, and this size of a cup, we're going to use a pumping movement because you never know when scar tissue can be painful. So we don't want this to hurt people at all. It should feel very good. So I'm going to start slightly above it just to get her used to the sensation. Now I'll come down, work right over that. So the nice thing about this, as opposed to deep tissue friction to free up the scar tissue, is the pumping actually creates a space, gives the tissue the opportunity to separate and pull apart. Still feeling good? Okay. Do check with your person on the table. Make sure there's no discomfort and that this feels the best it possibly can. Now you're not pushing with this cup. You're actually kind of lifting. You want to create space in here. So I think we've softened her up pretty well. I'm going to go with some straight suction, test it on my hand first, so I don't give her a surprise. And then question her as I work to make sure that this is not too much. Okay. Now I'm actually manually releasing the cup now, as I would like to do a glide or a twist, but her tissue's not letting me do it. So do not fight the tissue. Listen to the tissue as you're working with it. If you still are not making much headway with it, just turn your suction down slightly. Come on back. Now we're getting a little bit of a glide. Whoa. Sure you all saw that jump over there. So I'm going to anchor down here. Little twist. You're doing okay? Okay. Now we can work across it. And it's loosening up beautifully. You feel that? Mm-hmm. This is great.
Feels a lot different.
So our model here is 23. We don't want her walking around with this because this kind of a restriction here is going to create swelling below. It has cut off lymph flow. So this scar tissue needs to move for her ankle health and just for her general gait. At 23, she may not notice that this is affecting the flexion and extension of her foot. When she gets into a little later years, 40 and 50, you will notice it's impacted your hip, it's impacted your shoulder, it's traveled. So the younger we can catch people, the better. Wow, that moved really well for you. You see a little difference in the camera? I hope you guys can see this. This dent is actually freeing up. And what's really interesting is with an injury like this, normally we would see blood coming up in here from the injury. There's nothing. So that's kind of fascinating. So usually we'd see like a dark purple or a brown. Nothing's coming up on her. So I'm very curious about that. Wow. We're having so much fun with this. This is where our work gets fun. When you can go in and work on something and create a result so quickly. And it's very easy on the practitioner. Look how hard I'm working. It's great. After 30 years in the field, it's good to find a tool that will enable me to just, oh my, this is great. Do you feel it?
Yeah.
All right, it's traveled. It has started traveling up here. Now we are getting a little speckling here. See just a little mark coming up. Look at that. Compared to where we started, that is amazing.
Oh, that is.
All right, now, you don't want to overwork the tissue. So we're going to stop right about now and go on to a different part of the body. So that took me, what, about 5-6 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
And if I wasn't yakking to you, it would have been a little shorter. But the biggest thing with the vacuum work is not to overwork people. It almost feels like you're cheating, that you're not working hard enough, but you really are. When you're affecting the change, this is what working smarter and not harder is all about.